man wants to get taken advantage of, to not have any expectations for anything.
And allow you to provide for them 100% is because they view you as a mother.
What is she doing while I'm working?
She has to provide for herself.
You are the man. You are the provider.
Right. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics.
And it's like we take so much online advice from people who are generally prostitutes.
Miserable staying home and they like to go out and work? No, you don't. You don't like to work.
Knows that nobody likes to work. Selfish.
Welcome back to More to Life. Before we get into this video, like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get on my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get right into this.
Babe, if he's starting off the relationship by telling you that he's not looking for someone that's gonna use them for their money, he has no intention of being a provider for you. No man wants to get taken advantage of, obviously. But if he's telling you this on the first date, what it really means is that he's trying to set you up to not have any expectations for anything. Because
No, what it really means is that men are saying no to being a provider. It's common sense that it's being taken advantage of. She sat there and said with her own two lips, she's trying to gaslight on the internet. That's what she's doing. It ain't working.
by telling you, oh, I'm really insecure about this because other women have used me in the past. He's appealing to your kind, womanly nature to want to nurture him and protect him. And so by doing that, he'll put you in a state of constantly trying to prove yourself to him. So he always has the upper hand. And you'll never actually get that provider treatment that you want, no matter how much you continue to prove yourself. So honestly, just avoid these kinds of men, or just know what you're getting into.
Well, most smart men, I should say. I can't say most men. Most smart men are trying to avoid spending extra money. Think about it. Look at somebody like Bill Gates. Perfect example. Why did he have a Toyota Camry? He could afford. Now, I won't say he didn't have the nicest things at his home. I'm sure he had, things that costed. Guys like that buy cheap because they want to save. Chad Ochocinco said he wouldn't take a girl on a $300 date because he wants to save. And then I see a regular Joe take a girl for $300, and then he wanted her to pay for the movies, and she got upset. That's why they don't take girls on those dates.
So I just saw a video of a woman who was upset with her baby daddy because apparently he hasn't been working and she has taken on all of the burden of their finances. She's been providing for them 100%. Her friend got him an interview at the Waffle House, but there they were parked outside the Waffle House and he refused to go in and do the interview. He acted like it was beneath him. And she was frustrated because she's like, I am tired. I am tired of doing all of this. And my thing is this, the reason why a man could be with you and allow you to provide for them 100% is because they view you as a mother.
Mama.
A mother is not going to let her child fail. They know that whether or not they work or not, you're going to make sure they're fed. You're going to make sure there's a roof over their head. You're going to make sure they still have clean underwear. Like, you're still going to take care of them. That same man is going to eventually say that he's no longer physically attracted to you because you remind him too much of a mother. He's also going to go on to be with a woman who never had to give him underwear, who never had to make sure that she was providing for him, who never had to get him interviews for the Waffle House. He's going to give that woman the life he promised you. That's why you should never take on a motherly role for a man. Some of these men are looking for women to pick up where their mommy left off. Because if she does dump him, and if she does kick him out, he's going right back to mama, so mama can keep feeding him, and mama can keep doing the laundry, and making sure he has clean underwear, and all those other things. Men like this will use you of your energy, use you for your resources, and after they've bled you dry, they'll move on to the next host, because they are parasites, and all they know how to do is drain the source.
Now, I usually say she's wrong. On this one, I agree. Not the way she's explaining it, though. The guy's a little boy. Did he just get out of jail? Like, seriously. But who does that say a lot about, though? That says a lot about you, the lady, right? Because what happened? You dated the guy that probably is young, or that got out of jail, something like that, right? The guy that had charisma. Instead of getting the guy that's the regular Joe Schmo who maybe he tried to talk to at the mall, you ignored him, act like he didn't exist, put him in the friend zone. No, you deal with this guy. That's your fault. And then you know what happened? Or you know what probably already happened? She probably has a baby with him. I wouldn't even doubt it. That's what we're dealing with nowadays.
America versus Russia, asking men if they would provide for their woman.
Well, it just depends, you know. Number one, why would I? But what is she doing while I'm working? You know, it's kind of like each relationship now is a 50-50.
То, наверное, да. Вот, потому что все-таки я беру ответственность за человека. She has to provide for herself. She's an adult.
Конечно, если жена, это семья, это дети, и, конечно, в идеале, чтобы она уделяла 100% времени воспитанию.
Well, I mean, I would want it to be 50-50. That's the current situation I have. Right?
Если ей не хочется работать, если ей не хочется самореализовываться, ей приятно находиться на моем содержании, почему нет, я могу себе это позволить.
I would. I would probably inspire her to work, just so I can see that there is some motive going in her future.
Жизнь, как бы, моя жизненная ситуация устраивает, и я живу с девушкой, я ее содержу.
Она должна другие функции выполнять, а мужчина на своем месте всегда.
It's a different culture. That's why you have passport bros, right? Guys like me, for instance, I'm in the Philippines. My wife does what American woman probably would laugh at. Seriously, it's a difference in culture. She's raised a certain way. The woman in Russia may be raised not to backtalk for no reason. I do know Russian women can be kind of feisty, but I'm sure the ones in Russia stick to the plan. Because these men, I know for sure, aren't throwing their money at a bunch of gold diggers. They're acting right. They're treating the men right. It's a big difference. It's night and day. And over here, the value's too high. Homes, cars. It's just too much. 50-50 is almost required in America.
I'm pretty sure everyone has seen that video of the American men versus Russian men and how Russian men answer all the questions saying that, like, yeah, I would provide for her. She's my wife. And then the American men are like, yeah, no, we'll do 50-50. She'll pay for the dates and we'll split rent. And it's like, nobody. That is not how it's supposed to work. Okay? You are the man. You are the provider. The way that the Russian men responded to those questions is the way it is in majority of Europe. Like, I'm Polish, and that's also how it is. I asked my dad about this, actually, and he said that he can't even imagine going out to a restaurant and asking my mom to pay. The way it is in Europe is my money is our money, and that's how it's supposed to be. Not how it is here, that men want us to do everything and have a job and raise their kids and clean the house and cook for them. I'm sorry, but if we are both working the exact same hours, I'm not coming home to be the only one cleaning, cooking, and taking care of the kids.
Where is your husband?
Okay, we are splitting everything 50-50 if that's how you want it, but also, I wouldn't date a man who wants 50-50. And my parents wonder why I don't have a boyfriend.
Wonder you stayed single!
Or I don't even want to find a boyfriend right now because men have turned into princesses. We have a princess epidemic where men expect to be treated like princesses. They expect us to plan the dates and us to pay for the dates, even though, let's be honest, girlies, 99% of the time we don't even want to be going on those dates because a little charity work never hurt anybody.
You're from Polish, but now you're in America and you're a modern woman. You sound just like them. They turn into little princesses. That's not the case. Because myself, I provide 100%. So am I any different than American men? No, I'm not. I'll tell you why. Because if I was in the States, I probably couldn't afford to pay 100%. Most guys can't. And you know what happens? Those guys end up down and out. This happens. Video after video after videos. Actually, I put out probably 10 videos of it. Then the guy, 100% provider, runs out of bread. Then This guy asked his woman for money. She wanted him to pay her back. I thought we were supposed to be helping each other. I'm down and out. I provide 100% of your life. If I ask my wife that and she had it, she's gonna openly, yes, what do you need? She showed me already. And that's the thing. Guys are looking for ladies to show them something. And what you're saying is, give me, I show you nothing. Now, equality, I get it. But things aren't always equal as far as the way you ladies look at it. You just want to take.
Would you financially provide for your wife?
Of course, absolutely. She is my wife, therefore she is my responsibility.
Would you financially provide for your wife?
Do I have to? Oh.
Right. Take a moment. Right. You got it? Because, like, on the same iPhone that I'm making this video on, that y'all make those videos on, you could go to Google, it spit this out for you.
That is your receipt.
$550 for a 1 bed, average little 1 bed, 1 bath. The average monthly wage is about $787. So, cuz gonna have to get like 2 jobs or 1 really good job. Cause that still sucks, right? But doable. Now let's look at Americans. That's interesting. Average monthly cost of living in the United States is about $6,440, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Mortgage, groceries, smaller purchases like entertainment and clothing. For a single person, it would be $4,641. Married without kids, $7,390. Family of 4, I have a family of 5. But family of 4, and this is just normal living.
That's the difference.
I keep seeing people reacting to that video where they're interviewing American and Russian men about whether or not they want to financially provide for their wives. And the reaction to that video kind of shocked me. Basically, the Russian men are advocating for a traditional household where their wives don't work and they provide everything so that their wives can raise their children. And that's fine. While the American men are like, well, it depends on what she's doing in the house. I would want her to have aspirations and a job. I would want to maybe do 50-50, like we should both be contributing, which I think is also valid. And everyone's trashing these men for saying that they don't want to 100% financially provide for their wives. And I think that's really funny because the other men, a lot of the time, the reason they want that is because they don't see women as equal to them. They don't want their wives to work. They don't want their wives to be financially independent. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with having a traditional household, but a lot of those men expect a traditional household and they don't think that women should be in the workforce. And of course, I don't mean every Russian man, but the Orthodox Church has a grip on Russian culture, so that is a big part of it. I just wasn't expecting to see so many women agreeing with the women should be in the kitchen type mindset.
It's not only that, it's the dollar bill. The guy just now pointed out exactly what it is. That's what it is. Men can't afford it here unless he's making over 100. That's why all you ladies want a man making over 100. But still, even if you're making that much and you're living in a major city, it's like you're making 60,000. Seriously, if you're living in New York, California, Chicago sometimes, you know, even Atlanta sometimes. Not Atlanta, but yeah, some other states, it can be very expensive. Men shouldn't provide 100% unless he's making it.
The I can't pay the mortgage prank, this is for the 50-50 couple edition. I'm seeing women up here saying that they like contributing 50-50, they don't like staying home, they was miserable staying home, and they like to go out and work. No, you don't. You don't like to work. Nobody likes to work. Right. And the reason why you probably was miserable staying home is because your man wasn't making enough money for you to stay home and uphold the same lifestyle you have while you are working.
You see how she said no one likes to work, yet she wants a man to go to work all day and sit her at home so she doesn't have to do the thing that he literally doesn't want to do. She knows that nobody likes to work. Selfish.
Real talk.
But I want to add on. I want to see something. Right after y'all playing these men's faces, right? You walk up to them, hey babe, I can't pay the rent or mortgage, and you know you've never contributed to that a day in your life. After y'all playing their face like that, and they, you hit them with a confusion spell, like, what are you talking about? Ask them who he voted for. Record that and post it. Ask him right after you ask him that. You're a provider, man. Right after you ask him that, ask him who he voted for. And then, since you want to sit at the cool kid table so bad, post that on the internet. Because they was telling y'all to divorce y'all husbands if they voted for Donald Trump. I just feel like, though, a lot of the guys who truly believe in a woman not touching the bill and doing X, Y, and Z, I guarantee you they wasn't voting for no woman for president. That's just me, though. I'm just guessing. There's going to be a whole lot of quiet white women who can't participate in Oh, man.
Guys, stick by their side. No matter what they say, black men are right there. Just taking abuse. Because even though white ladies are a part of the argument, and they will forever be a part of the argument, the ones who are being provided for are quiet. Why? Because they're doing their duty. The ones in America who are being quiet, being provided for, they're very silent, and that's what they're doing. That's all they're doing is taking care of their man. And this is the thing. If a man did provide everything for you, would you take care of everything? Take care of the kids?
Absolutely not.
Take care of some, even manage the bills, even maybe do some work that he needs, something to help him be efficient in his job, plus at home? No, you're not willing to do that. Or you don't, only thing you're saying is you don't want to go 50-50, but what are you really doing? What do you really bring to the table? That's why guys ask that question.
A man's only job on this earth is to be a toy and a wallet. Why are you speaking? Like, I didn't ask for a freaking talking vibrator.
Today, I met a woman named Jess who said she had to leave her husband because he wouldn't provide.
This situation that this creator is describing is so freaking common, like, I can't even tell you. You can go watch his video, but it's a typical situation where a young couple get together and buy a house. They borrow basically the maximum that they can afford to borrow, and now they want to have kids. The wife wants to be able to stay home while the baby is young, and of course the husband can't afford to provide and is also unwilling to do so. And this is why I say in so much of my content that it's so important, if you want to be with a man who provides, that you be with a man who provides from the beginning. Stop expecting the men that you go into a relationship with to change. If you go into a 50-50 relationship, then what that means is that you are going to be forced back into the workforce after you have children, and then you will probably have to do the majority of the childcare and the home duties, because that's what 50-50 means to most men. If you want to have the ability to stay home after you have children, even if it's only temporarily, then you need to be with a man who is in a financial position to make that possible, and you need to budget to live only on his income. Once you've had your children and you go back to work, if that's what you want to do, then great. Now you've got 2 incomes. Awesome. You can build on that. But don't marry a man who is not capable of providing and then assume that he will step up and work harder to make more money so that he can provide for you when he has never indicated that he wants to do that. And like in this situation, the husband flat out refused and said that the woman should go back to work 3 days a week. And you know that 3 days a week would very quickly turn into full time because cost of living. So I'm glad that the woman got out before having children, because obviously it sounds like these two were never aligned in what they want. But frankly, dating him and marrying him was just a huge waste of her time. And I do not want you to make the same mistake. So if what you want is a man who can provide for you, then do not date men who are not.
And go stand on the corner. Seriously, go stand on the corner, because you don't have a lot of men lining up to pay your bills. Trust me, a lot of you aren't qualified.
In a position to provide for you. Like, just don't even date them. Don't talk to them. Don't associate with them. They have no business being in your orbit. A man wants to split the bill on a date, he's not a provider. Next. A man can't afford to buy a house? He's not a provider. Next. It's when you're 25 that you need to be making these sorts of decisions. Not when you're 25, be with a guy who can't and won't provide and then hope that he will turn into a provider in 5, 6, 7 years. Like, you don't have that kind of time to waste. And that's why I talked about in my previous video about age gap relationships that sometimes it makes sense when you're 25 to be dating the 35-year-old who is in a position to provide, who wants to provide for his family, instead of dating a man who's 25 and wants to split everything 50-50. Because when it comes to...
She has a point a little bit. If you want a guy that makes money, you have to date older. But she's right with that. But what you hear a lot of them say, oh no, they're just pedophile. Seriously, I saw a woman make a video. A girl's 2 years younger, 4 or 5 years younger. They're creepy. You're supposed to date older. You want a provider? Go for a guy that's 40. He's in his prime. He probably makes that money.
Kids, there is no 50-50. You bear 100% of that. You are pregnant 100%. You give birth 100%. You do breastfeeding 100%. And then very often, you are the one who will do the majority of the child rearing because statistically, that's just what happens. So please be smart when you are dating men. Know what you want and know, therefore, what type of partner you need to look for. And don't waste time with men who are not there yet, hoping that maybe they will get there eventually.
Yeah, see, that one she's off a little bit, but she has some good points, a lot of bad, because she's telling them to wait at the finish line, and men aren't going for it anymore. I don't know. Maybe she's married. Maybe she's been with her husband for 10 years. Maybe she's divorced. Maybe she's just making content for TikTok. I'm sure that's probably it. Number 3, right? But still, telling women to wait at the finish line, tell them what you probably did. Catch the man who's promising in college, who's going to make it somewhere in college. That's a whole different type of looking for a provider. That's actually meeting a man at the start line and coaching him to the finish. You deserve it then.
We're so depraved as a society that a woman saying that she desires her husband to come home and to enjoy his life and to not just be a provider financially, but to be able to enjoy his life so much that he can provide spiritually and mentally. And people are actually upset at her because of that. Like, how dare you want to spend quality time with your husband? How dare you want him to have hobbies and to have a rest? And it's like, we take so much online advice from people who are genuinely prostitutes, who genuinely have transactional relationships with their partners. And if that's your cup of tea, more power to you. But it's like, I would not desire a relationship where the only thing that man is worth is his money. He doesn't know anything about me. He doesn't know anything about his children. His children barely see him. When we go on vacation, he's on his phone working. He works himself to death to the point where he doesn't even read his Bible. He don't even have the energy to pray for us. He can't go on a walk, or he doesn't know anything about what's going on in the kids' lives. It's just money. So what are those children going to do when they look back on their childhood? They're going to think of mom and dad barely being there, but all he was a wallet. And them kids is going to resent him. And I'm going to end up resenting him.
It's like every rich family out there. That's what they want. They want the rich man, and truthfully, you gotta work for it. If you want that life, you have to work for it. You gotta catch a man on the come up, or men just aren't respecting it anymore. They're not. You have very few that'll let a woman meet them at the finish line, but guys aren't going for it. Why? Because men are saying no to providing for women. They hate it. They hate being used. The guy actually told the woman that in the beginning of the video, and she's like, oh well, no, he's just trying to. No, he's telling you how he feels, and that's how all men feel, because they realize it's definitely more to life than getting taken advantage of like that.
Brothers, what we do in life echoes in eternity.